This is a demo for my deployed API. I found this dataset on the Union of Concerned Scientists website. It stores a lot of information about every single satellite in orbit. The information holds up until the 1st of April 2019. This diagram here shows the models I chose. A satellite would have a list of properties and stuff like name, UN registry, country, operator, and some of these are object IDs, and these are the fields that are going to hold a reference to other models. And some of them, for example, are an array of IDs, so this would store multiple country of contractors, for example. So my database will have models that represent each of these entities. A model for satellite, a model for country, and a model for contractor. And all of these are interconnected. This ERD diagram shows how my models are linked together. So for example, a country has one or many satellites, and a satellite has one or many countries. A country has one or many contractors, and a contractor has one and only one country. A contractor has one or many satellites, and a satellite has one and only one contractor. So this dataset came in the form of an Excel sheet. I had to download this Excel sheet, convert it to a CSV file, and then convert that to a JSON file. So here is my JSON file that holds all of these Excel sheet entries in one object. First thing I did was parse through this massive JSON file and break it up into smaller manageable pieces that line up with my models. I used those smaller pieces to seed my database. So after all the seeding is done and all the collections are linked together, I implemented all the routes and controllers to allow querying on my databases. So here's an example of a controller file. You can query by all countries, you can find by name, you can find by ID, you can create a new one, you can edit an existing country, or you can delete a country. Once all my routers and controllers were set up, I decided to produce a front end to make browsing this API a little more user-friendly. So I used Express handlebars to give my API a front end. This is my main template, so all of my handlebar HTML files will have this basic template which has the title and a form, and every other query will plug in its information into this body placeholder. And other files like country, for example, when I query country, it will fill in the blanks in variables like value.name and plug this whole file into the body placeholder here. This is my fully deployed API. At the top here, you have a search bar that you can use solely for GET requests. You can search by model. You have one for satellite, one for country, and one for contractor. This search by field just means which kind of property you're searching by inside that schema, and then the value. If you leave all these fields empty, it requests all the documents in that collection. And then you can click from there and it'll take you to that specific document. This is another example with country. Because I left the fields as empty, it pulls up the entire collection. And clicking on one will take us to that specific document. So for the rest of the CRUD functionalities, you're going to have to use an application like Postman. So I'm going to create a new country. So all POST requests require a request body, which is in the form of a JSON object. So if I send this request, it's going to return back the newly created country. So I'm going to copy this ID because I'm going to need it. And if I want to edit this country, I'm going to have to switch to the POST request and give it its ID. And I can change, let me change this to my land. If I will make this submit request, it should return back the new name for my country once I update it. And then if I want to delete it, I would do the same thing. I would have to give it its ID, and if I send, it should return back the same thing, but that would be telling me that this current object is deleted. And there you go, no errors, all successful. And just in case we have any doubters, we can search the country by the name we just created. Oops. And it's going to say couldn't find the entry you're looking for. That means it doesn't exist within our database. So there it is, my deployed satellite API. And thank you for your time.